girl. I've seen many of messed up things in my time watching anime, especially over this past decade, but even I was less speechless by episode 10 of my instant death ability. I will admit, I have a problem for assuming that I can change any big titty anime woman in any show, but even I'm tapping out by the end of this episode. No, I can't fix her, and I'm sure some freak out there will say, God, I wish I were those hands given what was just revealed with them. But a brother who sealed away this girl, for good reason, learns about her brother's death and says, oh, it's okay, I expected him to die someday, but I'm gonna give birth to my brother, cuts off Lute's hands, because apparently the essence of her brother is on said hands, and that can be used to birth your... Even if she doesn't shove those hands up and impregnates herself, and she just does a ritual, the out-of-pocketness of how boldly she admitted that had me more dumbfounded than I have been in years, because I just didn't expect that level of out-of-pocketness. But give me the next episode. I have a full live reaction, and goddamn do I'm shilling this live. I have never been this shooketh from something. I really recommend that live reaction over on my Patreon alongside all the other ones. It's over there if you're interested. Jesus, man. Last week, I kind of had a problem with how overwhelming it was, because it just kind of felt like it was firing at rapid pace, and it was like, okay, I'm trying to focus on this, and then you shift into this. While technically that does happen again, I didn't feel like it was as overwhelming. Maybe people will disagree. I did have a lot of people agree last week that it was overwhelming. I did see some people say they actually liked how it was handled. For me, this episode, it just felt like I was following things a lot more easily. I mean, we have another gate opening. I mean, our boy's falling into the pits of hell, and that's probably going to be interesting for the final couple of episodes. But, to be honest, there's some interesting surprises that you don't expect, and I think some of the things you do assume is going to happen, like the king dying, doesn't go according to plan. I thought if a king was going to get killed, it'd be because Yogiri wanted to. No, this woman comes in, and I mean, this dude has like an impressive attack. He has this like naked woman in his bed, probably some prostitute that he was doing some fun activities with, gets completely cut in half by this attack and is left just killed. Like, hey, I killed the king. Deal with it. It's like, okay, and you have all these different plot lines. You have characters who are doing their best to kill Yogiri, which is understandable. He's the most frightening thing in their world. You have characters who are, you know, observing and also probably wanting to help, and then you also just have like all these individual plot lines. Like I said, like every time I see this, I think his name's Damien, like I really thought he was dying in that forest early into this show. The fact that he's now tagging along with, I believe the character's name is Lou, who basically has this like wiggly wobbly key. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. If someone's locked behind a gate and that's their key, do not put the key in the hole. I mean, respect to Damien. He's like, hey, just leave Loot alone and I'll let you out. I don't think this girl's gonna be a threat to Yogiri, but Jesus, man, like I'm assuming she's gonna take the essence off the hands in some magical spell. I don't think they're gonna go like a gushing over magical girls approach where someone's getting bent over and something's getting shoved up somewhere. Maybe she will. I'm pretty sure she wants her brother in more ways than one. But the fact that someone evil can even recognize that their sibling's too far gone and needs to be sealed away is pretty funny in my opinion. But I don't know, man. Like, at one point in this episode, so once again we get reminded of just how broken Yogiri is. Like, as soon as you have the instinct to kill him and the intention, before you can even pull that trigger of the rifle, you're dead, right? And there's this dude who tries to run away. He can pretty much create anything from their original world, so he initially makes a helicopter to fly away. And Yogiri, after like he keeps throwing these spirits, like he's summoning like some pretty impressive looking creatures, and honestly there's this one like goddess looking girl who just immediately gets obliterated. Yeah, like the fact that he ended up making the android, and it's based off of that one character, of course, and the fact that the only thing that's actually caught him by surprise in recent memory was that initial throw, because this was designed to kill him, and it actually did catch him by surprise. My assumption is if like something actually did start to touch him, like if the blade started to touch his skin, it would cease to exist. Well, not really cease to exist, but it would, you know, it would reach its end, because we know that's what Yogiri's power is he's the end. He doesn't simply kill, he is your final stopping point. But it was interesting seeing that that was the first thing that actually did get to him. And as the man says, like, there's more characters who could do things like this than just him in the world. But with how the goddess who ended up summoning everyone there is now doing things like, hey, we're gonna do an elimination thing, only one's gonna survive. We're basically, if you thought the cast was too bloated, they seemingly are about to trim the fat real lickety quick. But it'll be interesting to see where they go. The thing is what I really like about this show is it turned from something where I thought I was just going to enjoy it because of how broken they can make a main character. And a lot of the brokenness of Yogiri comes down to his automated defense. It's one thing to say that you are everyone's end destination, it's another that anything that has the intent to hurt you ends up dying automatically without you needing to do much. And seemingly my interpretation of when they were targeting Denora was that because she's in his general area, the fact that there was an intent to kill her and hurt her, that's probably why he was able to pull her in and protect her. Not totally sure on that, but of course, over time in the story, you'll learn more and more about that, I'm sure. But I like the fact that it goes from just a show like, you're like, oh, this One Punch Man level parody in the isekai world of no one can stop him, now has this story of like, I'm actually really interested to see where the goddess actually wants to go, because for him, it's get home. Like, that's his objective. It's not save the world, it's not be a hero, it's like, I want to go home. Completely understandable motivation for someone who seems completely inhuman. Where everyone else has all these different, like, typical fantasy stories going on, but they've almost been flipped on its head because now you have someone who's ripped the script up and said, hey, we're gonna improv this whole story, and they don't know what's happening. But the goddess, for better or worse, believes that she can figure out a way to defeat Yogiri. Which, as long as she doesn't personally say, I'm gonna kill him, should be fine. But if anything, when you have someone who immediately gets looked through a camera and says, wait there, I'm coming for you, you're dealing with someone who's built different. And while I do expect something fun with that sister, I mean, I'm sure she's gonna do some questionable things along the way, I do think she will add a spice to the plot. I just don't think she's going to even come close to killing our boy, because I don't think anyone's going to actually come close to killing our boy. I think the worst that can happen to him is he might get slightly hurt at worst, and if that happens, well then, I mean, obviously you broke through his defense, but you're dead at that point anyway, so what did that get you? The show has definitely turned into one of the more pleasant surprises. I will be damn saddened if they don't confirm a season 2 either when this season wraps up or shortly after. I really want to see more in this world, especially with how good the voice actors have been. It just wouldn't be the same reading it for someone like me. I just love how the personalities really come out with those VAs. Hell, a character like Damien, the only reason I like his character is because of his voice actor. He does such a good job at a role I would normally despise, so that's saying a hell of a lot. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Definitely the most shooketh I've been in quite some time, but let me know how you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're around here, and of course ring that bell so you get notified when I upload more. And like I mentioned, we have the full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we have Jamubu, Tomir, Onpaku, and Mbimaki If. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, have a good one.